September 26, 2025 marked a turning point in one of the most controversial relationships in American politics. While Elon Musk spent months attacking Donald Trump over Jeffrey Epstein connections, a document surfaced that would expose an uncomfortable truth about the billionaire himself. The House Oversight Committee's Democrats released the third batch of Epstein estate files, containing 8,544 documents spanning decades. Hidden among flight logs, financial ledgers, and daily schedules from 2010 to 2019 was a single calendar entry that would ignite a firestorm. December 6, 2014. The text read exactly, "Reminder, Elon Musk to Island Deck 6. Is this still happening?" This wasn't a leak from hackers. This wasn't stolen information. This came directly from official congressional records, verified by NBC News, CNBC, Al Jazeera, Axios, and multiple international outlets within hours of release. The timing of this entry carries devastating weight. December 2014 wasn't just any random date. This was 6 full years after Jeffrey Epstein had been convicted as a registered offender in 2008. Epstein had pleaded guilty to 2 Florida state charges, soliciting inappropriate services and procuring a minor for similar purposes. He served 13 months of an 18-month sentence. By 2014, Epstein's criminal history was public knowledge. Anyone scheduling meetings with him knew exactly who they were dealing with. This wasn't a case of ignorance or naivete. The calendar entry's phrasing is particularly revealing. The question mark after "is this still happening" suggests uncertainty about whether the visit would actually occur. It implies prior discussion, potential planning, and ongoing coordination. This wasn't a cold invitation. This was a follow-up reminder about something already in motion. What makes this revelation particularly explosive is the context of Musk's recent political warfare. Between June and July 2025, Musk launched an unprecedented campaign against Donald Trump, specifically targeting his Epstein connections. ABC News documented that Musk published or retweeted criticisms of Trump's handling of Epstein files more than 35 times between July 17th and 19th alone. This wasn't casual commentary. This was a coordinated assault. The attacks escalated dramatically on June 5, 2025, when Musk posted what many considered a nuclear option: "Time to drop the really big bomb. @Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT." He followed up minutes later with, "Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out." The White House responded through spokesperson Caroline Leavitt, calling it an unfortunate episode from someone upset about legislative disagreements. But Musk didn't stop there. He enumerated what he called Trump's defensive tactics. 1. Do not admit anything. 2. Deny everything. 3. Make counter-accusations, but it will not work this time. He publicly used his own AI chatbot Grok to ask whether the government currently knew the names and ages of everyone who traveled on Epstein's plane. He shared photos of file folders labeled Epstein Files Phase 1 that Attorney General Pam Bondi had distributed to conservative influencers in February 2025. For weeks, Musk positioned himself as the moral authority demanding transparency about Epstein connections. Then something interesting happened. Between June 6th and 7th, 2025, Musk silently deleted his most explosive posts. The accusation about Trump being in Epstein files disappeared. The retweet demanding Trump's removal vanished. Claims that Trump wouldn't have won without Musk's help were scrubbed from his timeline. According to the Wall Street Journal, Vice President J.D. Vance and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles spoke with Musk on Friday, June 7th, urging him to end the public conflict. At 3 a.m. Eastern Time on June 11th, Musk published a rare public apology. "I regret some of my posts about President Donald Trump last week. They went too far." The timing wasn't coincidental. The apology came after intense political and financial pressure, not from a genuine moment of reflection. But here's where the story gets truly fascinating. Despite apologizing in June, Musk resumed his Epstein-related attacks against Trump in July 2025. He posted more than 35 times criticizing how Trump handled the file releases. This happened after the Trump administration announced on July 7th that they wouldn't release additional Epstein documents. Musk acted outraged, positioning himself as a champion of transparency and accountability. He maintained this posture right up until September 26th, when the House Oversight Committee released the documents containing his own name. The calendar entry about a potential island visit wasn't the only Musk connection in the files. It was simply the most recent revelation in a pattern that had been building for years.
March 2nd, 2014. The Vanity Fair Oscar party in West Hollywood, California. Photographer Kevin Mazur captured an image that would become central to this story. Elon Musk standing next to Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate and convicted accomplice. When this photo first surfaced in 2020, Musk's explanation was dismissive. "I do not know Ghislaine at all. She photobombed me once at a Vanity Fair party several years ago. Real question is why VF invited her in the first place." He framed it as an unwanted intrusion, a random celebrity encounter at a crowded event. But that explanation developed cracks in August 2025, when Maxwell's Department of Justice interview transcripts were released. Maxwell told investigators she first met Musk at a birthday party for Sergey Brin, Google co-founder, in either 2010 or 2011, not at the Vanity Fair party in 2014. This directly contradicted Musk's photobomb narrative. If they had met years earlier at a private birthday party, the Oscar party photo wasn't a random encounter. It was two acquaintances at the same event. Musk himself admitted to visiting Epstein's Manhattan mansion, though he framed the visit carefully. In a 2019 statement to Vanity Fair, he explained, "Several years ago, I was at his Manhattan home for about 30 minutes in the mid-afternoon with Tallulah, as she was curious to meet the strange person for a novel she was writing. Epstein is obviously a creep. He tried repeatedly to get me to visit his island. I declined." Tallulah Riley was Musk's partner at the time. The justification that she was researching for a novel added a layer of creative distance to the encounter. It wasn't a business meeting. It wasn't a friendship. It was supposedly research for fiction. The visit allegedly lasted only 30 minutes in mid-afternoon, emphasizing its brief and public nature. But this admission confirms Musk was inside Epstein's private residence, the same Manhattan townhouse where much of Epstein's activity was later documented. The New York Times reported in August 2025 that Epstein's mansion contained photos of the convicted criminal alongside famous figures: Pope John Paul II, Mick Jagger, Elon Musk, Fidel Castro. These weren't random snapshots. Epstein curated these images as trophies, proof of his access to power and influence across every sector of society. Whether Musk knew his photo was being displayed this way is unknown, but its presence in the collection suggests he viewed Musk as someone worth showcasing. In 2023, the U.S. Virgin Islands cited Musk in their lawsuit against J.P. Morgan Chase, alleging that Musk had been referred to the bank by Epstein. Musk responded with characteristic bluntness. "That creep never advised me on anything whatsoever. The notion that I would need or listen to financial advice from a dumb crook is absurd." The denial was forceful, but the citation itself confirmed that investigative bodies were examining potential Epstein-Musk financial connections. When the September 26th documents became public, Musk responded within 24 hours with indignation. On September 27th, he posted on X, "Shame on Sky News for this utterly misleading headline. Anyone pushing this false narrative deserves complete contempt." Epstein tried to get me to go to his island and I refused. Yet they named me even before Prince Andrew, who did visit. His response contained three key elements. First, moral outrage at media coverage. Second, insistence that he refused all island invitations. Third, deflection by comparing himself favorably to Prince Andrew, whose Epstein connections are far more extensively documented. Musk's defense hinges on a crucial distinction: being invited versus actually attending. No flight logs have surfaced showing Musk traveling to Little St. James, Epstein's private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands. This is significant. The flight logs released in previous document batches meticulously tracked passengers on Epstein's private jets over decades. If Musk had flown to the island, that record would likely exist.
But the calendar entry raises uncomfortable questions. Why was there a reminder about Musk going to the island on December 6, 2014? Who created this calendar entry and for what purpose? The phrasing, "Is this still happening?" suggests this wasn't the first discussion about such a visit. It implies previous planning that may have been in doubt. 8 months separated the March 2nd Vanity Fair photo with Maxwell and the December 6th calendar entry. What happened during those 8 months? Were there other meetings, phone calls, or correspondence that haven't been released yet? The document dump on September 26th wasn't just about Musk. The same batch contained references to other powerful men in similar contexts. Peter Thiel, PayPal co-founder and major Republican donor, appeared in a November 27, 2017 calendar entry, 12 p.m. lunch with Peter Thiel. Thiel had previously told the Wall Street Journal in 2023 that he was rather naive and did not think hard enough about what Epstein's agenda might have been. The New York Times had already reported that Thiel was scheduled to meet Epstein on at least 3 occasions in 2014. Steve Bannon, Trump's former chief strategist and right-wing commentator, appeared in a February 16, 2019 entry, 7 a.m. breakfast with Steve Bannon. Bannon had a series of meetings with Epstein in summer 2019, during which they filmed interviews for a documentary produced by Bannon that never materialized. Epstein's brother Mark has sought access to the unseen footage since then. Bill Gates appeared in a December 5, 2014 entry, just 1 day before the Musk Island reminder. Tentative breakfast party with Bill Gates, invited Ron Barron and Josh Harris, awaiting reply. Gates's Epstein connections have been extensively documented. His ex-wife Melinda Gates wrote in her memoir that she knew their marriage was in trouble in 2019 when her husband's ties to Epstein became public. The New York Times had already reported that Thiel was scheduled to meet Epstein on at least 3 occasions in 2014. Prince Andrew appeared in flight records from May 12, 2000, showing a trip from Teterboro, New Jersey to West Palm Beach, Florida. Passengers listed included Prince Andrew, Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and 2 redacted names. A ledger entry from May 16, 2000 recorded a massage for Andrew at $200 plus exercise and yoga. Prince Andrew's use of Epstein's private jet had been previously revealed during Maxwell's trafficking trial. The pattern across these documents is consistent. Powerful men from technology, politics, media, and royalty all appear in Epstein's meticulously kept records. Being mentioned doesn't prove criminal activity or knowledge of Epstein's crimes, but it does demonstrate the breadth of Epstein's network and his ability to maintain relationships with elite figures even after his 2008 conviction. Sarah Guerrero, spokesperson for House Oversight Committee Democrats, released a statement on September 26, emphasizing this point. It should be clear to every American that Jeffrey Epstein was friends with some of the most powerful and wealthy men in the world. Each new document produced provides new information as we work to bring justice to survivors and victims. Oversight Democrats will not stop until we identify all accomplices in Epstein's heinous crimes. The statement carefully avoids accusing anyone specifically of wrongdoing, but makes clear that document releases will continue. The third batch contained 8,544 documents. How many more remain unreleased is unknown. What those future documents might contain is equally unclear.
The controversy around these releases extends beyond individual names to questions of institutional accountability. Why did so many powerful figures maintain contact with Epstein years after his conviction? What did they know about his activities and when did they know it? The Musk situation crystallizes a larger hypocrisy problem in how public figures handle these revelations. When it's politically convenient, Epstein connections become weapons to destroy opponents. Musk used Trump's documented presence in Epstein's contact book and at Epstein's Mar-a-Lago parties as evidence of guilt by association. He demanded transparency, threatened revelations, and positioned himself as morally superior. But when his own name appeared in the same types of documents, the response shifted to outrage at media coverage and insistence on technical distinctions between invitation and attendance. This pattern repeats across the political spectrum. Figures on both left and right weaponize Epstein connections against enemies while defending or minimizing their own associations. The result is a public discourse focused more on partisan point scoring than genuine accountability or justice for victims.
The deleted posts from June tell their own story about political calculation versus principle. If Musk genuinely believed Trump's Epstein connections disqualified him from office, why delete those accusations after political pressure? If the deleted posts were genuinely wrong and went too far, as the apology claimed, why resume similar attacks in July? The most logical explanation is that Musk's Epstein-related attacks on Trump were never about moral principle. They were political weapons deployed during a power struggle over legislation and influence. When those weapons became politically costly, they were abandoned. When the political winds shifted again, they were picked back up. Until Musk's own documents were released, making the entire line of attack untenable. The response to his name appearing in the calendar was predictable outrage and deflection. But notably absent was any acknowledgement of the hypocrisy of having spent months attacking others for the same type of documentary evidence. Anonymous, the decentralized hacktivist collective, didn't actually reveal these documents as some social media posts claimed. That attribution is false. The documents came from official congressional release by House Oversight Democrats. However, Anonymous did respond after the release on September 29th by posting the photo of Musk with Ghislaine Maxwell, alongside quotes from Maxwell's DOJ interview about knowing Musk. The implication was clear. Musk has used photos with people to reinforce friendships, as he did repeatedly posting photos with Trump during the campaign, but denies his connections to Maxwell and, by extension, Epstein, based on the same photographic evidence. The anonymous commentary highlighted the selective memory and convenience-based relationships that characterize much of elite networking. The same photo that proves a friendship when it's useful becomes a photobomb or random encounter when it's inconvenient. None of this proves Musk visited Epstein's island. None of this proves Musk participated in or had knowledge of criminal activity. No victims have accused Musk of inappropriate conduct. These are crucial distinctions that must be maintained. Being mentioned in Epstein's calendar, being photographed with Maxwell, visiting Epstein's mansion briefly, or being cited in legal proceedings doesn't equal guilt of crimes. But it does establish a documented pattern of contact that Musk has consistently minimized or explained away. The calendar entry from December 6, 2014 represents the most direct evidence yet of planned interaction between Musk and Epstein's private island operation. Whether that plan was executed remains unknown based on currently available evidence. What is known with certainty is that someone close enough to Epstein's schedule to make calendar entries believed a Musk Island visit was being discussed for that specific date. The question mark suggests uncertainty about whether it would happen, but the reminder itself suggests it was at least under serious consideration. The broader implications extend beyond any individual name in the documents. These releases demonstrate how extensively Epstein maintained relationships with powerful figures across decades, including years after his criminal conviction.
They show how those relationships were carefully documented, creating a paper trail that continues to emerge years after Epstein's death in federal custody in August 2019. Each new batch of documents adds pieces to an incomplete puzzle. We still don't know the full extent of Epstein's network. We don't know everyone who visited his properties or participated in his activities. We don't know all the financial relationships, the intermediaries, or the institutional enablers who made his operation possible for so long. What we do know is that powerful people who publicly position themselves as moral authorities on these issues often have their own uncomfortable connections that complicate their narratives. The Musk-Trump dynamic over Epstein files perfectly illustrates this. Both men appear in various Epstein documents. Both men have photos with Epstein associates. Both men have been cited in legal proceedings related to Epstein investigations. Neither has been accused by victims or charged with crimes related to Epstein. Yet both have used the other's Epstein connections as political ammunition when convenient. The result is a circular firing squad where everyone has vulnerability, but everyone demands purity from opponents. This dynamic serves neither truth nor justice. It creates an environment where legitimate questions about elite accountability get lost in partisan warfare and selective outrage. The victims of Epstein's crimes deserve better than having their trauma weaponized for political point scoring by people who themselves maintained contact with their abuser. The September 26th document release won't be the last. Sarah Guerrero's statement made clear that Oversight Democrats intend to continue releasing documents and pursuing accountability. Future batches may contain more names, more calendar entries, more flight logs, more financial records. Each release will likely trigger similar cycles of outrage, denial, deflection, and political weaponization. Breaking this cycle requires holding everyone to the same standard, regardless of political alignment or personal preference. It requires distinguishing between documented contact and proven wrongdoing. It requires focusing on justice for victims rather than political advantage for accusers. The calendar entry from December 6, 2014 matters not because it proves a crime, but because it adds another piece to the historical record of how Epstein maintained elite access. It matters because it exposes the hypocrisy of using Epstein connections as political weapons while having similar connections yourself. It matters because it demonstrates that document releases will continue revealing uncomfortable truths about powerful people across the political spectrum. The question isn't whether Musk is uniquely culpable. The question is whether we can move beyond partisan exploitation of victim trauma toward genuine accountability for everyone involved in enabling or ignoring Epstein's crimes. That accountability starts with honesty about connections rather than selective outrage and convenient memory. It continues with supporting thorough investigation regardless of whose names appear in documents. It requires accepting that people we support politically may also have uncomfortable associations that deserve scrutiny. The calendar entry from December 6, 2014 will not be the final revelation in this ongoing story. But it should serve as a reminder that elite networks of power and influence are complex, interconnected, and often compromised in ways that transcend simple partisan narratives. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Wait for us.